Hi guys, I'm Bowie. I've been gone for a while, casting DPC, and now grinding a lot of carry games, and because of that, I decided to start a new series focusing on the role for those who want to learn it. All other replays were acquired by a YouTube and a Twitter poll, so if you want to participate in videos like this, make sure to either subscribe or follow me on Twitter. So the first mistake we're going to talk about is building way too many small items. This is an Ancient 2 Juggernaut, and I want you to look at his build. Now, let's take a look at other Juggernauts, high MMR ones, and try to pick up the differences. Small items for a long time were the bread and butter of how to play carry. Wraith Bands, sometimes you would get 2 of those. Wand, they were all items you wouldn't mind completing in the lane, but with offlaners becoming better at pressuring, neutral items also existing and giving you stats besides the normal items you get, whilst carry timings being so important and tight in this patch, it's very rare to see carries getting all of the small items in every lane. Maybe you didn't notice this, but this is the first Juggernaut that gets Wraith Band and Wand in the same game, and all of the items pretty early on. A lot of Juggernauts didn't get Wand or Wraith Band, or just kept like a Circlet or a Slippers of Agility. And this might seem small, but the difference in item timings can change 2 or 3 minutes, and that's huge. This means that identifying exactly what you need in lane and only buying that became a relevant skill for a carry. To help you with that, here's a very quick guideline I can give you. Wraith Bands and Bracers, they are laning items. You build those when you feel like you can't reliably last hit against the enemy lane, or when you need a small piece of sustain like armor from Wraith Band or HP regen. This Shaman Enigma lane is a great example of a lane Jugger needs more base damage. Shaman has 70 base damage. Enigma, with 3 level 1 Eidolons, has about 100 combined damage, and Jugger has 60 here. Thus the Wraith Band makes a lot of sense. Yes, Blades of Attack gives you more damage than the Wraith Band, but you have to remember that you already probably have the Circlet or the Slippers of Agility, so the investment you're making is much smaller. That said, if you're against a lane that harasses you a lot but doesn't offer you less hit problems, and you still get the Wraith Band, you can end up in a pickle. You will have to overexpand on regen items, or you might die, or you have to walk base, all of which are terrible. If your plan was going Battle Fury anyways, then the Wraith Band loses you the lane because you're missing on important regen because you invested your money poorly. Wand is an item you should probably only buy against Tidehunter, Bristleback, and Batrider, or when you're going to play an active build that doesn't rely on a big farming item like Battle Fury. So in the Ancient 2 Juggernaut game, I like that he opted for Wand, but Wraith Band and Wand together are very rare. The Yasha build is all about having more move speed to spin people, to getting range for Omnislash, and overall just play mega active. And that can be fine. But not only Wraith Band slows down the timing of the Yasha, for me the worst part is that this Juggernaut, even though he went for an active build, doesn't play active. What playing active means is that it's just unacceptable to be farming at 10:30 instead of being bottom to push with the Catapult Wave. You know, it's not only about the small items, but your build has to fit your style, and that's why I usually recommend the greedy Battle Fury builds for most of the students I coach. You need your team to group bottom with you at 10:30 for this build to have an impact. You need your supports to not be hitting jungle camps, and in lower MMRs, this very often isn't the case. And this is why I make these videos. I think a lot of the high MMR content creators forget that Dota can look very different in lower MMRs. Now let's talk a little bit about mana usage. In this game, we have a 3.3k Ursa, and right from the get-go, we can see a mistake that leads into another bigger mistake. What we would talk about here is mana usage during the farming phase, but the mistake I'm looking at comes from a different perspective or reason. This Ursa opts for the 404 build, which is 100% a mistake in all of your games. This build used to be popular, and the reason for the Phase Boots 404 build to be popular in the past was that at level 4, Earthshock would slow for amazing 55%, whilst Ursa by himself had 325 move speed. Compare that to the new Ursa, which has 10% less move speed, and at the same time, his slow is 25% worse than before. Basically, level 2 Earthshock now is worse than level 1 Earthshock from that patch. while you have a slower hero on top of everything. This Ursa tried to go for this build to constantly kill enemies, but it's clear that even with phase boots and level 4 Earthshock, this hero is a shadow what he used to be in terms of kill potential. This is why a lot of Ursas don't even upgrade their boots before Battle Fury nowadays, and that goes back to the mistake we talked about, knowing exactly what your hero needs, so he can get his first big power spike as fast as possible. Because Ursa goes for this build, he farms very slowly, not only because he doesn't spam Earthshock nearly as much as he should and Fair Clarities, but because with the huge mana reduction on Overpower, you would farm much faster with a 2-4 build. Even players that go phase boots before Battle Fury never go past the second point on Earthshock, so they can farm Battle Fury faster, but most of the time, you see Ursus playing something like what Boom did in this game, where he maxes the passive, doesn't upgrade boots, fares clarities, and that gives him a super fast Battle Fury timing. If your hero uses mana to farm, like Anti-Mage, PA, Ursa, Alchemist, you should be low on mana, so you can accelerate your farming speed. And if you get to a point where you do not have mana to keep spamming the skills, you're probably doing something wrong. Either your build is wrong, like the 3.3k Ursa. In his case, he didn't even use the Earthshock to farm, which is even worse, but in his case, let's say your brother played Dota in your account and just gives you control of the game exactly here. Ursa should be spamming Earthshock to farm faster, whilst supplementing the lack of mana with Clarities. Notice that in the Pro Player replay, his build with the Perseverance mana regen and correct skills learned allows him to pretty much spam overpower farming without needing that much mana supplementation. Now we're gonna talk about poor game read. This game is a terribly hard one for the PA on Radiant. 12k gold lead at 20 minutes, very late Battle Fury on PA because of her decision to get both Treads and Orb of Corrosion, whilst most of the PAs nowadays go for a build like this to maximize their Battle Fury timing, but I don't even want to touch on that. Watch how Dire tries really hard to throw this game. They take me tier 1, they Roche, the win percentage right now is 92%. If I am this PA right now, my goal would be to rush BKB as fast as possible to try and defend barracks, farming away from the enemy team, cutting waves with blur, forcing someone to go back so we can take a good fight. Note that PA has 0 vision right now, and in a higher MR bracket, this is a game-losing mistake, because the chance of the enemies being smoked behind Ursa or just coming from fog is extremely high. Yet no, Ursa was alone and he feeds all of the advantage away. The right play right now would be for Radiant to collapse top and take the tier 1 tower. Tier 2 mid tower is the hardest tier 2 tower to take. This is a terrible call. If the team really wants to go for it, I guess it's better than not doing anything with the kill after you get such a high priority target like the Ursa Roshan. But Radiant commits, I guess, 2 mistakes here. 1, PA goes mid tier 2 while his team clearly doesn't want to go. Or maybe 2, PA either didn't understand that or did not have the game awareness to realize his team was ditching him, and that's a counter throwback to Dire. There was farm all around the map, and the farm was free because 2 heroes are dead right now. This is a really common mistake. Is Earthspirit wrong for TPing right in front of PA when it looked like he was actually going for the mid tier 2? For sure. But if PA was a better player, he would know that going for tier 2 in the first place when tier 1 top is up is a huge no-no. So the only way this was an okay play is with Radiant 1000% down. Everyone screaming on the mic to get tier 2, and that was clearly not the case. PA should have called for top tier 1 after the Ursa kill, and in case his team doesn't want to, he could just farm and enjoy Dire's throw. Ursa is after all a hero that sucks going high ground. The entire Dire lineup sucks going high ground, which would give PA 10 minutes of free farm until the next Roshan, and they would probably have a better chance at contesting it, a chance to win, even though they had a 9% chance of taking this game. This is a very good example of why most of the games in this MMR bracket are winnable, yet with some missing pieces of knowledge, players fail to realize how throwy some of the enemy plays are. Guys, thank you very much for watching, commenting, and subscribing. I'm actually coaching for free nowadays. I really want to give back to the community and the fact that I'm earning an income from DPC. So if you guys want to get coached for free, you can join my Discord channel or this Telegram channel where you guys can know exactly the time slots that you have free. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one and bye.